Can you believe the weather? Like, it's almost unreal how good it is right now here in Sydney and what it's going to be this weekend. Hi there, my name's Mark Smith. I'm Group Managing Director of People to People in Australia and the UK and Frog Recruitment in New Zealand. And this is P2P Live, where we'll be talking all things jobs and employment throughout Australia and New Zealand. So we've got a very packed broadcast for you today. We'll be re-looking at the wage price index that was released last week, and we looked at the broad numbers last week, but we're going to dig a little bit deeper into them today in our numbers section. We've got 3 jobs we need to fill today, so stay tuned. You could be working on Monday. We also have another permanent position for a category manager, and we'll be chatting with our London office managing director, Liz Jones, about a working holiday. And finally, we have the Twitter poll results from last week. So it's jam-packed. Let's get into it with this week's numbers. So we thought we'd take a further look at the wage price index, seasonally adjusted, that were released last week. So you're not having a little bit of a throwback here. This is the graph that I showed you last week, and I just wanted to remind you what that number was. So it was 3.1%, which is the highest since September 13 in terms of the wage price index. And the baseline was that the private sector is moving along pretty quickly versus the public sector, which has fallen behind. But we're still way behind the inflation number. So real wages are declining in the vicinity of about 4%. But let's have a look at some of these numbers now. And this is the interesting graph from the same release of data from the ABS. And this is the time since the last pay change for the private sector. So how long has it been since you've had a pay rise? So the blue graphs are from September 19, the dark blue 20, the orange 21, and the red is 22. And so what you can see that, so in September 22, it's been about a year for most of us who since you've had a pay rise, but it's been less than 12 months for about 35% of us, and it's only 11% who haven't had a pay rise in the last 12 months. That sort of says everything. This time last year, it was that the majority of people, 50%, had had a pay rise in less than 12 months. So that was the recovery as we were coming out of the pandemic recession. But if you look back in September 19, on average, it was about 65% that would have been 12 months ago since they had a pay rise. So I thought some really interesting numbers there. And definitely there's movement, which we're seeing graphically in the last slide, and with the numbers at 3.1%, but not quite enough, I don't think. So here's the next graph, which I thought I'd break it down in terms of industries. So the annual change for each industry is listed there, and I'll point out the ones that are moving fastest, and that's the retail trade, up 4.1%, manufacturing at about 3.6%, wholesale trade, financial and insurance at about 3.5%, and the poorest performers are in the vicinity of around just over 2% in education. So for those of us in New South Wales where we've experienced the teacher strikes, that sort of says everything there, education and training. The dark blue line is the quarterly change, and you can see that there's a little bit of difference there, and you can see that it's still retail trade moving the fastest more recently, but admin's on its way, and also real estate services on its way as well, and other services are moving quite quickly. And the poorest performers there are transport and education and public administration and safety. So I thought that was interesting from an industry perspective. What's your experience? We'd love to see it in the comments. You can comment live here. We can see it on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So jump in and let us know what you're experiencing for your pay rises as well. Here's the last graph, which is basically looking at it from a state-by-state basis. And you can see that pretty much it's steady across all of the states from a quarterly basis. So you can see New South Wales, Victoria, Queensland, WA, the Northern Territory, all in the same on a quarterly basis. On an annual change, you can see that Northern Territory and the ACT are falling behind. Then it's New South Wales and Victoria, and the annual basis, Tasmania way out in front, followed by Queensland. Some interesting numbers there on a state-by-state basis as well. So that's it for the numbers. Now let's move on because we have 3 jobs that we need to fill today. You could start work on Monday. It's Fill Job Friday. So here's the first one. It's a HR business partner role, paying around that $55 to $65 an hour, based in the CBD. You'll be responsible for providing high-level strategic and tactical human resources advice. The length of this assignment, I understand, is for 6 months. You've got to have an understanding of payroll and recruitment strategies as well. If you're interested, get in touch with Sarah Canning from our office, 82709704. Here's the next one. It's a legal counsel in Parramatta. So it's competitive salary for this one. You need to have 2 to 6 years post-qualification experience and be available to work in Western Sydney. I think it's just around that Parramatta area. Patricia Melendez is the person you need to get in touch with. 82709744 is her number. And the last one today, which is in Queensland, in Meadowbrook, and that's paying about $50 an hour, and we're looking for a demand planner. So you'll be working with a highly motivated team. You'll have to have developed analytical and forecasting skills, advanced Excel, and of course, had some experience as a demand planner in the past. Melanie Hammond is the person you need to be in touch with, 0731180125, or you can apply online. There are links in for each of these roles where you can apply right now to start work on Monday. And the 3 jobs that we have are HR business partner here in the CBD in Sydney, a legal counsel role in Western Sydney and Parramatta, and a demand planner in Queensland. If you might be thinking, well, I'm on a bus, how am I meant to apply for this? We use vPly. You can apply with video, quick and easy. vPly is the way we use. We have applications when you want to apply on the fly. Wow, what's all this alliteration? Where did that come from? So we now need to move on. We've got another job. It's a category manager's position. That's a permanent full-time position. So we'll run the video on that, and then we'll go and have a quick chat with Liz Jones, our sister company in New Zealand, Frog Recruitment. Got Liz online this morning for Frogs on Friday, their equivalent of P2P Live, where they had a chat about working holidays. So we'll check out the category manager position, and then we'll go and have a quick chat to Liz.
Hi, this is Danita from People2People Recruitment, Melbourne. We're currently working with a global e-commerce business specialising in stylish and fashionable retail products, and we're on the lookout for a category manager to join their team. Be part of a highly innovative and forward-thinking culture, playing a crucial role within the product development process. Excellent communication skills with the ability to influence others is a must, using data and research to increase the success rate of new products. Fantastic benefits are available, including working from home 4 days with 1 day in the office, huge product discounts, and a competitive remuneration package of between 100 to 160k plus super. If this is a role that interests you, please reach out via the contact details below.
Wow, a very special part of the show. I'm so thrilled to be joined by our long-term colleague, Liz Jones, but over from the complete opposite side of the world. Hello, Liz.
Hello. Hi, Shannon. Thank you for having me. So how cool is this? People2People UK, we are officially open. I am beyond excited to be here finally after months of secrecy and planning. I'm delighted. We've opened our London office this week with our very first People2People UK employee, Hannah Scanlon. And already we can see just how big this is going to be. There's a huge demand for talent, a gap in supply, and we're certainly here to fill that gap. So to all our recruiter colleagues in London and the UK, watch this space. We're definitely hiring and would love for them to be part of that journey.
Yeah, absolutely. Such an exciting time. And tell us a little bit more about this journey.
Yeah, sure. So it's I guess that's a question that we're asked a bit, the why are we here, the motivations, why the UK? And people to people have been around since 2005. So we've worked with quite a number of multinationals who they've often asked, what our global coverage is. And with the recently agreed free trade agreement between Australia and the UK, it's really opened up that opportunity for us to be able to supply talent and offer a global talent solution. Essentially opening up the talent mobility across Australia, New Zealand and the UK. So we can now offer our clients a broader reach to find talent and offer our candidates a second to none recruitment experience. So I guess with that, we're here. We've opened the first office, the first of many, I hope. And we are live and ready to recruit.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I guess I had the privilege of being the first international branch, or opening the first international branch of the people-to-people recruitment group. But at that time, it seemed a long way away that we'd ever branch out further. So it's just so exciting to be in the UK.
Yeah, it's a little bit like the Twilight Zone.
I'm sure, well, kind of literally at the moment.
Yeah.
So take us through, tell us a little bit more about what will be happening across your space and some of the areas where you're strong and what you can offer to the UK.
Yeah, sure. So, obviously, people to people, we have consultants who operate in the temporary and permanent space across 11 specialisations. And we also offer the, on-site workforce management through our HR solutions team. I guess here in the UK, we will look to replicate that and be able to offer those services to the clients that we have here as well. In the immediate future, though, and certainly where we've seen the highest demand, right now, is probably more within that accounting and finance space, your legal, marketing, digital, and a few areas of that business support too. So those will be the niches that we would be focusing on straight away. Obviously, we can do a few other niches as well because we've done them back in Australia and New Zealand, but that's where we see the demand right now. So I guess if you're hiring, reach out to us. We are ready to recruit. We're live. And likewise, if you're looking for work or maybe looking for a holiday, a working holiday in Australia, New Zealand or the UK, we're here to help.
Absolutely. Well, I must say I'm definitely looking to those, what's a good word, cross-pollination opportunities. So I know there's a lot of Kiwis who have been champing at the bit, ready to get away on their OE. So it's sad to lose some people from New Zealand, but to be able to connect them in Australia and the UK as well.
It is the post-COVID travel bug.
Yeah.
People are ready.
But we're in the key areas, so we can keep supporting. So that's fantastic. Well, all the best, Liz. I can't wait to see such great things happening there in that space, and for you personally. And I'm sure we'll watch the space, and we'll see good things coming through.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Shannon. Thanks for having me.
No problems.
Bye.
Rightio. So it's so cool that we now have a London presence. And if you are a working holiday maker looking to return home, Liz can help you out in our London office. Or if you're a working holiday maker on your way from the UK and you're heading down to the other side of the world, then we've got offices in New Zealand with Frog Recruitment and all across Australia, so we can help you out there. So make sure you consider people to people for your working holiday. But let's have a look at last week's Twitter poll results, which was, would you take a pay cut for a better work-life balance? Now, I was blown away by this number. 37% said, yeah, I'll take a pay cut. Maybe it's just me, but I'm in that 28% going, nah, I'm not taking a pay cut. But a full third said, you know what, it depends. Now, it's a Twitter poll, so you've got to take that into mind. But really, I thought that would be a very different result. It's like a third, saying yes, no, or it depends. So I thought that was very interesting that a full third of people would take a pay cut. What about this week? We thought we'd stick with our working holiday trend. And are you wanting to go on a working holiday in 2023? Yes, I need a change. No, I'm not, or unsure. I'm actually thinking about it. Vote now at people2people on Twitter, on our LinkedIn page as well. Let us know. Are you heading out on a working holiday next year? Okay, that's it, everybody. Thanks once again for joining us for P2P Live. We'll do it all again for the very last time for 2022 next week. We'll see you then.